Howdy folks, Bluesboyjag here, taking a walk on the river. It's been a little while, right about sunset. Good day for a walk. So I thought I'd talk about the current status of live music. And no, I'm not going to be bitching. A lot of these videos on YouTube, a lot of people are bitching about this, that, and the other. Ooh, look at that. Yeah, pretty. Lots of duckies out there. So it just kind of hit me a little while ago that people, thankfully, still love to go out and see live music with live musicians actually playing instruments as opposed to electronic music with computers. And granted, there are bands that do have electronics and computers in addition to the actual musicians playing instruments as opposed to pre-programmed instruments. But in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, I've been thinking, I hope live music doesn't fade away. I hope live music still has a draw. I think people, and I hope I'm right, that people like to see real human beings bashing out songs on guitar, bass, and drums, and keyboards, and saxophones, and xylophones, and whatever. And I'm hoping that that continues, because just recently I've played a couple of low-key solo gigs, and by low-key I mean not many people showed up, but boy did they like it, and they had huge grins on their faces. And I wasn't playing anything amazing, you know, I didn't do a killer version of Stairway to Heaven solo acoustic or anything like that. I just played a little bit of blues, a little bit of rock, a little bit of country, and nothing too crazy, nothing too intricate. And lots of times when musicians play, myself included, sometimes you think that no one's paying attention, and you think that maybe the audience isn't liking it, or maybe they kind of like it, but it's not really their main bag, as they used to say in the 60s. But these last couple of gigs have really reaffirmed that people do love live music, and they're not picky, right? They don't need to see, like I used to think back before I started playing music. I used to think that people wanted to see you play the entire Led Zeppelin song note for note, right? I still love doing that, don't get me wrong, but it's certainly not a prerequisite for the audience. So I had just a few people last night, and for whatever reason the venue wanted me to play inside. And they had a nice outdoor venue last night, and they have heaters just in case, but they didn't really need them last night. And I just thought it was really strange that there's 60-70 people outside, but the music was inside, where people would come to the bar and order drinks, and there's like 10 people inside. And so at first I was a little bit disappointed, because I was hoping to get a much bigger crowd. The more people you play for, the more people are going to come back and see you. And of course, the more people that come back and see you, the more gigs you can get, and the more confident you can be with the venue that you have a good crowd. But the folks that were there were, as usual, at first kind of quiet, and I'm bashing out the songs with my friend Elaine. She's playing the mandolin with me, and I'm thinking, okay, everything's going pretty good. They kind of like me, like they're not like leaving, and they're not frowning. And then after a few songs, they loosened up, I guess. Maybe they had a beer or two, and they walked up closer to the tiny stage that we were on, and they had huge smiles on their face. And a couple of songs that we did, can't tell you which ones, that were classic rock or classic country, got some great responses. People were hollering, you know, I love that song, I remember that song from the old days, or whatever. And it really reaffirmed my belief that people are going to continue to support live music, no matter if it's in a small venue or if it's in a huge arena. I think people want to see musicians who are playing their own instruments. They don't even have to be playing them well, although I do my best. And I've seen bands that completely skip some really cool parts of songs, like difficult parts of classic rock songs. I can't think of any specifically right now off the top of my head, but they would skip like the coolest part of the song, but it was kind of difficult apparently. And the way I roll is, if you're going to do the song, you do all the parts. And I'm not begrudging them at all. That's certainly their choice, and they did a good job. Anyway, what I'm getting to is, they didn't play a lot of these more difficult sections of these classic rock songs, but the crowd didn't care. The crowd either didn't know the difference, or they didn't care. They liked what they were doing anyway, which is fantastic. I mean, I'm not begrudging the band that one iota. A lot of people do that. They skip the hard parts and play the easy part of the song. But it made me feel good, because if people like music that much to not even hear the full version of the song, that means they really like music, right? And they're not really that picky, which is great, because I'm picky. And it's a pain in the butt, because when I go out and see live music and the band's not so good, or maybe the band's good and they can play, but they choose songs that I don't like, then I get a little bit, I don't know, a little bit bored. I don't get angry or anything. So then at that point, I concentrate on their playing. Even if it's if it's not songs that I particularly like that much, then I kind of concentrate on their playing. And I look at the drummer, and I look at how the bass player is interacting with the bass drum and all that stuff. And that's how I get through watching the band. If I'm on a date or something and I'm not really digging the band, I'm not going to sit there and bitch about the band all night. So what I'm getting to here is, people aren't that picky, which is a good thing. And people still love to go out and see live music, which is a good thing. And for years, I would wonder, all these solo acts and bands, but specifically solo acts, they play the same songs, right? And for years and years, I was like, I'm not going to be playing the same old songs. I'm going to play other songs by those artists. I'm going to educate the masses. Doesn't work. It's fun to play, but people who don't know those songs want you to play da-da-da-da-da song by Led Zeppelin, right? They don't want to hear some other Led Zeppelin song that is not a big hit. Well, maybe some of them do. Maybe Led Zeppelin's a bad example for that. But my point being that it looks like live music is not going anywhere. I see a lot of these ads for these electronic festivals, and there's thousands of people there. And at first I used to think, well, here comes the demise of live music, human beings on stage. Nope, not at all. Because they're playing with real bass players and real drummers and electronic bass players and electronic drummers in the same band. So live music is still alive and very well. Thank you very much. And the local bar here that has been appreciated as one of the best bar bands or live music dive bars in America, the Whitewater Tavern here in Little Rock. They book all sorts of different styles of famous touring acts. I'm not saying super famous, but pretty famous. And they always get a good crowd when these people come in. And then the next night you might see a punk rock band, and there might be 12 people there, you know? So that really makes me feel good that people are still liking A, live music, and B, all different types of live music. And you can't really spend too much time trying to figure out what the audience might like. If you like it, they're going to like it. And if you don't like it, then they're probably going to be bored. If you like it, you're going to do a good job. You're going to be excited to play those songs, and it shows to the audience. So when you go out there and play gigs, give it your best and watch the audience, but don't worry too much about their response. You might play 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 songs in a row, and you get nary a hand clap. Then you might play one song where 4 or 5 people erupt in applause, right? And you might get $20 for that song. and you might go another hour with hardly any response. But that's just how it is. You never know. You never know. So when you're out there playing gigs and you're not getting much response, and you've worked up your favorite blues song on a CBG, and you're playing killer slide guitar and you're getting not much response at all, that is totally normal. That is totally normal. I'm not saying every time you play that song with your band you're going to get that type of response, but it is very, 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 very common. And the next night you might get a great response, and you might have 3 people buy your CD, and the club might say, we want you to play every month. Hell, I'll take every 4 months. So as long as you're happy when you play, as long as you show it, you're happy and you know it and you show it, like they used to say in kindergarten, then the audience will notice. The audience will pick up on that. And you keep on smiling if you make a mistake, like I did last night. You keep on, actually you make the mistake. If you make a mistake, do it twice. So if you go bump, 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 and it should be bump, 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 bump. Do the bump, bump twice. Make the mistake twice. And they think you meant to do it. That's a little insider advice there. So y'all let me know, again, what types of cigar box guitar lessons you're looking for. I also do 6-string lessons, of course. I've been concentrating on the cigar box guitar lessons because there's 300 billion 6-string lesson channels out there. But let me know if you're interested in any specific song or any specific style. And also, if you're interested in learning more about a lick or a certain procedure or way of playing cigar box guitar, because lots of times I'll do a video and it will be a good 10 minutes of all sorts of different things, and you might see one tiny little thing that I'm not really teaching you. You might see my finger do some kind of weird little lick. Well, let me know if you see something like that and you want to know what that little lick was, because a lot of those licks I've been playing for so long I don't even notice. I don't even consider them licks. They're almost like the way I walk or the way I talk or the way my hair grows, right? It's like I can't help myself. I can't not do those licks and so forth. So if you see anything like that and you're like, wait, what was that tiny little snippet there of slide or that little lick he did that took him up to the next chord, holler, email me and let me know. Even if it's a tiny little, 8-second, 5-second little thing, I can explain it to you. And you also, if you have other licks that you come up with on your own, do a little video, put it on YouTube, and I'll be happy to post it for you and give you a little bit of recognition on that, because we're all working together for the same goal, right? So thanks for watching. Have a good Sunday evening, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my website, jagshouse.com, cigar box guitars, just like that one. We'll see you next time.